The Out of the Norm show is made possible through the generosity of our partners in progress. The Bank of Gravette, caretakers of the Arkansas spirit. Simmons Suites in Bentonville, Arkansas. The best part of a great day is a good night at Simmons Suites. Wayman Hoag's Back Yonder, a major contribution to Arkansas history, annotated by Jody Parsons. Vista Heating and Air in Bentonville, serving Northwest Arkansas for 35 years in professional service.
This is Petra from Boca Raton, Florida, and this is the Out of the Norm show, where the stories are all about you.
Remember, I've got a tiger by the tail. Yeah, that was a great old song by Buck Owens and the Buckaroos. Also, you remember Tony the Tiger. Now, those are all lovable characters and cute little songs, but we're going to see the real thing today at the Turpentine Creek Wildlife Refuge near Eureka Springs, Arkansas. Lions and tigers and pumas, and yes, even a bear. Oh my. That on the Out of the Norm show, followed by another story of a place that I really enjoyed visiting also, just outside of Fayetteville. It was the Terra Studios properties. It's just beautiful out there. It's about 15 miles out of Fayetteville in Durham, Arkansas, and it's the home of the blue bird of happiness. What does that bird look like? You'll find out in just a little while, and how they're made right here on the Out of the Norm show. So don't go away. I promise this is going to be a really good show.
And now, another adventure with Savings Man.
Look, honey, it's my Social Security statement.
Oh, gosh, how are we going to retire on that?
Never fear, young savers.
It's Savings Man.
You need to save more. You'll need this.
Oh, the ballpark estimate worksheet.
That's right. Get it at choosetosave.org and find out how much you'll need to save for your future.
Gee, thanks, Savings Man.
No, thank you.
So visit choosetosave.org and stay tuned for more Savings Man.
Welcome to another version of the Out of the Norm show. We're in a great place in northwest Arkansas, just outside Eureka Springs, in a place called Turpentine Creek Wildlife Refuge. We're going to be finding out some stories about animals that have been rescued from across the country and brought here to beautiful farmland of northwest Arkansas to live out their life in peace and gentleness and be taken care of by a dedicated group of people. Turpentine Creek Wildlife Refuge. That's our story today on the Out of the Norm show. So you don't go away. We'll be right back after this with a story. It's all about you. We have had a wonderful experience here at Turpentine Creek, and I know that you will too when you get the opportunity to visit. I want to introduce you to someone who's very special to the lives of all these beautiful animals that you've seen. This is the lady who is the president and was one of the founders of Turpentine Creek Wildlife Refuge. This is Tanya Smith. I'm so glad we got the opportunity to visit with you guys today.
Yeah, thanks for coming out.
It's kind of unusual to find something like this in the farm country of Arkansas. How did that come about?
Well, you know, northwest Arkansas is abundant with poultry manufacturers and things like that, and the weather's not too hot or too cold for too long. So in 1992, when we started this foundation, we realized that we needed to go somewhere where there was an omni food supply, and that's why we picked northwest Arkansas. When you say omni food supply, what does that mean? Well, last month alone, we processed over 40,000 pounds of raw meat that Walmart donated. So, you know, we're very blessed to have Walmart supporting our food supply, plus Tyson Foods. They do a very nice job to help us feed the big cats here at Turpentine Creek Wildlife Refuge. So this is a whole lot more than just an organization that you guys own or operate. There's a lot of people involved, isn't there? Oh, yes. Yeah, you know, right now we house about 115 big cats and just a variety of other animals. So whenever you take care of that many animals, and they're all animals that came in because somebody didn't want it after they'd gotten it for a pet, the majority of the animals come, or maybe the people die or divorce, you know, whatever life brings you, and then suddenly the animal's homeless. Mm-hmm. So we have to make sure that those animals are well cared for, and thanks to Northwest Arkansas, and then also being open to the public, you know, to allow tours to come in, and we educate constantly on how to care for big cats through our internship program. Then that helps us to supply the help we need to take care of them, and also you know, it's just a big job, and you know, they eat a lot of food, and you don't want them hungry, Norm. Oh, sure. They looked a little hungry when I was walking around out there. Yeah. How many people do you have employed here? Well, there's about 14 people that are actually on staff, and then we have 11 interns that have came in from all over the world, and we'll solicit 2,200 universities or send out 2,200 letters, and we get about 115 applicants normally on a normal basis, and we do this every 6 months. So we'll go through those applications and we pick what we think are the best of those, and we'll bring 11 to 12 extra people in to do the day-to-day care and cleaning of the animals, and that's how we make sure that the cages are clean every day and the animals are fed every day and their medical needs are met.
These animals that have been domesticated or maybe raised from birth in a home and suddenly they can't handle them anymore, what kind of problems can someone expect if they think they want an exotic pet?
Well, Norm, they're really cute when they're little, and that's the biggest thing. Is somebody will get these animals when they're 3 pounds, 4 pounds, and you saw some of the big cats out there. Some of our tigers are 700 pounds, so they grow into these massive creatures. And you might have a breeder on the other side saying, "Yeah, you could raise this in your house with your kids," and everybody wants to think that's the truth, but it's not the truth. I mean, these are wild animals, and it could be deadly in a home. So you have to really make a conscious decision. If you're planning on getting an animal like that for a pet, we always say, come and volunteer here at the refuge. Realize what you're getting into, educate yourself, and, please do not get animals like this for pets.
What about state laws? Are the states cracking down on these kind of things, or are we still way too lenient in allowing people to have these?
Well, the state's done a great job this year. I mean, for the last 5 years, we were one of our past interns was very beneficial in presenting a bill to Bill Jackson when he was in as a representative, and they actually brought that into legislation and got it passed as a law, where you have to at least have a permit to own a lion, tiger, or bear, and we just started with that. And now Fish and Game has created their own set of rules and laws, so that helps to maybe deter people from trying to keep an animal like this. With this, to get a permit, you have to get a permit at least to own these big cats, which is a good thing. And then you have to meet certain qualifications, which is fantastic that they've created that issue. And I got a lot of death threats at one time because I was trying to stand behind letting people know that these animals aren't good pets, and the breeders got mad about it, and they didn't want to see anybody out there taking their right away to own whatever animal they wanted to. They don't think that the government should control that. So I'll do whatever I can to defend. I mean, you see, we have 115 big cats out there, and we turned away probably 30 big cats this month alone, and the month's early. So if there's that many animals out there that need help, then either other refuges need to step up, or we need more funding to be able to house those animals.
When you say more funding, tell me how that works with your organization.
Well, we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and people can make donations to the foundation. You can also come and stay in our lodging. That's a really neat opportunity for people. You can actually hear the lions carol all through the night. And that, we had to get diverse whenever we thought, well, it's costing us about $1 million a year to run the organization just the way it is right now. And that's without nobody's really making a large salary. So, people are doing it out of the labor of their love for the animals. So it's just a wonderful organization, and we do special events here. We try to bring the community in. We take gifts in kind, things like that.
Tell me about the Kite Fest that's coming up.
Yeah, on the 27th of March, we have the 20th annual Kite Fest, and it's Eurka Springs Kite Fest. We were happy to host it out here. It's a free event, so anybody can come out at no charge and actually get to see the animals. You pay a admission fee to get to see the animals, and that's another way that we support the mission here.
Sure.
But the Kite Fest is free. Just bring a lawn chair and a cooler and have a good time.
There'll be live music and food and all kinds of things going on.
It's a lot of fun.
The dedication is amazing here. We visited with Emily McCormick, a lady that's been with you for about 11 years, she said.
Yes, she has.
Boy, she has a love for what she does, doesn't she?
She does.
But is that same passion rampant through the people that work with you?
Yes, it's all, that's what bonds all of us together as the animals. You know, everybody here, you can't help if you're here very long and you are an animal lover not to fall in love with these creatures that need our help so badly. So, you know, it's just great that Emily stayed on with us, and, you know, she's a lifer is what we call them, you know, whenever we get these interns and they just don't go away, you know, and they're the people that we end up keeping.
11 years later.
Yeah, here she is 11 years later, so.
Now, one way that you across America can help participate in this, number one, we invite you to come to Northwest Arkansas and visit Turpentine Creek Wildlife Refuge. You'll have a great time here. You'll be treated well. You'll learn a lot of things, and you'll get an experience that you certainly won't get in a zoo. You'll get a lot of personality of these animals and how they respond to one another and to the people who handle them, and that's quite exciting. Another way is to send money, right?
Right, and you know, if you just want to go to the website, you can go onto our website. It's just turpentinecreek.org, and you can go directly into the website and learn more about the refuge and how to donate.
Turpentinecreek.org. That's where we're at. That's what we're doing. This has been great, Tanya. I really appreciate it.
Well, I'm glad you came out, Norm.
All right. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Don't go away. There's more stories all about you on the Out of the Norm Show.
When my dad went away, it made me very sad. My mama cried, and she didn't want anybody to know where he was. When other kids did stuff with their dads, it made me sad again. Then some nice people brought Charlie to my house. He told me jokes and made me laugh. He picks me up every week, and we have a lot of fun. I don't feel sad anymore. They call Charlie a mentor, but I call him my best friend.
Children of prisoners are 7 times more likely to end up incarcerated themselves. In Northwest Arkansas, over 5,000 children are at risk. You can help break that cycle. Become a HIP mentor and give a child a brighter tomorrow by providing hope, inspiration, and protection today.
Hi, this is Norm Allen with you on another version of the Out of the Norm Show, where the stories are all about you. Do you remember those days when you were a little child and you started doing pickup sticks or using Lincoln logs or maybe getting your first coloring book? Couldn't stay within the lines and didn't really know which color to use, and as time went on you got better at it because somebody back then encouraged you. Today is a story of encouragement. We're going to look at some artwork and some pieces at a very famous place right here in Northwest Arkansas called Terra Studios. What's it all about? You'll find out soon. Don't go away, because today's story is all about happiness and a little bluebird.
Hello, friends. Many of you have asked me about Credit Counseling of Arkansas. This nonprofit organization is a wonderful treasure in our community. I've recommended them for years because they really do care about their clients. Achieve your financial goals by coming in now for a free financial checkup. CCOA cares, so contact the financial health professionals at CCOA today. Your financial health will get better.
I want to introduce you to a man who's after my own heart. If there is another out of the norm without being called Norm, it's Jamie Ulick, and he's the owner of this wonderful place called Terra Studios here in Northwest Arkansas. I'm so glad you've let us come out and look at your place today. This is going to be a great opportunity.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
Now, the thing that makes this place famous, of course, there's a lot of artists that are represented here. But the really thing that gives it the personality has been the bluebirds, hasn't it? The bluebird of happiness.
Bluebird of happiness is what Terra is known for more than anything else.
How did all that come about?
Well, Leo and Rita Ward came from California in the late 70s and started a glass studio and a pottery studio here. And tried a bunch of different lines, ended up, at one point they sold their pickup truck to survive and did all kinds of stuff. But they finally made it to where they were creating little glass birds. Leo was making some little brown birds, and Rita said, why don't we make a blue one? And right there, while they were doing that, the rep from the Ozark Mountaineer, that little paper around here, came by, and he said, well, why don't you call it the Bluebird of Happiness, and we'll see if we can sell some in the paper. And that's what started them out. They started out selling the Bluebird of Happiness, and it went from a small mail order business that they started off with to a huge international business where they sold over 9 million Bluebirds throughout the world. Gorbachev has one. Clinton gave them away during his presidency. All the governors of Arkansas have given them away. They're a little emissary of happiness from Arkansas. Something. If you go to Milano and you go to the glass factories there, they'll tell you that they can make every bird in the world except for the Bluebird of Happiness. It's made in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Wow, wow. Well, we're going to see how those are made in just a little while, too, aren't we?
Yes, we'll have an opportunity.
So now let me back up a second. Now, these are not mass-produced, even though there's 9 million around the world, but they're still...
Everyone is completely made in the old world tradition. One piece of you take the hot glass out of the furnace, and you make one piece, and you put that in the leer, and then you go to make the next one, and every single one's a little bit different. It has a signature of the individual artist who made them.
Wow. And they're reasonably priced, too, and you can still get them all over the world through mail order?
They're available mail order, online, or at stores all over the world. And then we also do a pink bird for Susan G. Komen, which we started a couple years ago, which has been just an amazingly successful partnership. We've given them over $30,000 in 2 years.
Now that's for breast cancer?
Yes, for the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Foundation.
Wow, so the birds have spread out into a real mission.
Yes, well, that's hope. That's what the pink bird is. It's a pink bird of hope.
Pink bird of hope.
So we have hope and happiness here.
But there's a lot more than just birds here. I mean, if that was the only thing, it's worth the trip to visit. But there's a lot more going on here, too, isn't there?
Terra is a wonderland of art. It's a place where Leo and Rita, through their generosity and their wild success with the Bluebirds over the years, were able to, everybody has their passion that they find, and their passion was art. It was creativity, and they sponsored artists. They built a wonderland of art. There's over 100 artists who've done permanent installations at Terra. We have a gallery where we represent 70 regional artists. It's all about art. It's all about just uninhibited, unencumbered art, where it's just, you'll see things that are, world-class art that there's 10 people in the world that can do. You'll see things that, anybody can do. And it's all about inspiration in art and creativity and in fun.
A lot of color and a little gaudiness here and there.
A little gaudiness. Well, Antonio Gaudi, that's where the word comes from. You look at his work and it's fabulous. My favorite work in the whole world.
But you're an artist as well.
Yes, I've been involved in the arts my whole life. I went to the Art Institute in Chicago when I was a child. My mom was a sculptor, so I spent all my summers at the Art Institute wandering around, taking classes. I've been imbibed with art my whole life.
And now coming out of a big city, and I think you said you had a business in New York State, and now you're down here in Arkansas. Is it a little bit of a culture shock at first?
Well, I've been here for 30 years, so this is home now.
This is home now.
This is home now.
Yeah.
I've been in Fayetteville for probably 20-some years. I lived up near Siloam for a while, but this is definitely home. 30 years, 35 years almost, so I'm almost a resident.
So almost a local.
Almost. You got to become 50 years to be a local.
To be a local. We're still out. We're not outsiders though. We're just newcomers.
Yeah, we're newcomers.
Well, the Bird of Happiness obviously is working with this guy who's just full of joy. We're going to take a look around, and he's going to give us a nice tour. And there's an art park. You call it an art park,
We have a 10-acre art park that goes, we have sculptures, fountains. That's where I said we have over 100 different artists that have done permanent installations. We're trying to identify all the people. I came in and bought Terra from Leo and Rita. They needed to retire. They were getting on in years and just had created this wonderland. And it was just something that needed to be nurtured and to be cared for and needed to go on into something that's just wonderful for the community in the area. So we're trying to include more local artists, musicians, writers, everything. Terra's all about local, all about the arts, and all about creativity.
And there's no down season either, is there?
We don't stop ever. We stop 3 days a year.
3 days a year.
3 days a year. That's
your
good.
birthday, Christmas.
No. Everybody gets their birthday out. That's everybody's most important day. But we have Christmas, New Year's, and Thanksgiving. We shut down those.
And other than that, we're open year round and invite you. I noticed you had bus parking as well, so you can take large groups.
Yeah, we have large groups. We get a lot of bus traffic in here. It's a wonderful place to just come and spend an afternoon.
Wow, and that's exactly what we're going to do now. Well, let's get on the road. Let's take off to it.
Okay.
All right. So kids will come in here and hang out and play around, and
oh yeah, kids come in and
touch everything, right?
Absolutely, they're free to just enjoy, experience, and just have a wonderful experience of just seeing what's possible in art, seeing what happens when you get outside the box and you explore the possibilities in creativity, the possibilities in art and fun. These are actually chunks of glass that come out of furnaces when you tear a furnace down. When you end up finally using a furnace up and tearing it down, you end up with these big chunks of glass. We don't have them many places because they're in the freeze-thaw cycle, because the glass isn't annealed or cured. It will split apart into sharp shards. So we keep it in here where it's safe and stays stable, and it just makes a wonderful addition to Rita's endangered species room. This building on the right is the original studio and showroom at Terra Studios. It was built in 1976 and has been the core of Terra all along. As Leo and Rita started to develop their studio and do more, they started with this small garden, started with 1 or 2 pieces they'd stick outside, and then eventually it turned into this wonderful garden with the wall that Johnny, their son, built, some of John's pottery. We've got pottery from all different kinds of people here. We've got murals that Leo made. We have a door to nowhere, which eventually, if you look toward the future, will go somewhere. That's one of our secrets we're gonna bring up later. But the garden's kind of wrapped around, and people created different pieces for them. At one point, there was a gas well on the property. This dragon, you'd pull a lever on it, and it'd throw a 10-foot flame out of the mouth of it. But we decided that was a little dangerous, so we stopped that. But this piece was made by Trent Talley. It's a really cool piece. But after they ran out of space in their little garden, they decided they'd just keep on going, built this gate, and went off into the woods. And there's walking paths, there's a mural garden back there, there's a 7-channel labyrinth. It's just a wonderland where you can walk around and walk through the ground and spend a whole day just walking and exploring all the different fountains, murals, paths, gardens, and goes on for 10 acres. Leo and Rita got excited about murals at one point and just sponsored a whole bunch of people to to cut loose and create some just wonderful murals. There's all different things from murals that are created out of just different found objects to sculpted pieces that are just magnificent. And it's the entryway into the walk through the gardens. There's a garden walk that goes through the natural grounds that's lined with sculptures and just kind of an open, natural Ozark environment that a lot of times people don't get to experience. The different natural native flowers and native mushrooms and things that grow in the woodlands here is just a wonderful experience while you're walking through some really amazing art. Those are indigenous creatures to there. They're something Leo created at one point, and they're just part of the fun and the excitement of Terra. As you walk through the woods, you'll find different things like the Nessie fountain and the turtle race that are just fun and exciting things. It's amazing how you can have all these different things just kind of nestled in the woodlands as you wander through. It's one of the things that makes Terra so exciting is you can come again and again. Even for me, who've been here for years, I find different things regularly in the garden. It's like, whoa, I never saw that before. It's just amazing the number of pieces and the amount of creativity that you'll find here. This is one of the things people travel from all over the country to experience and see. Labyrinths are an ancient tradition of creating a pattern of switching from your left side to your right side as you walk through to actually stimulate and activate the creative side of your brain. There's labyrinths all over the world right now. This is a 7-channel stone labyrinth. The labyrinth is different than a maze in the fact that you're not ever lost in it. You just go all the way, wind your way all the way to the center and all the way out. It's just one channel going all the way in and out. And the idea is, as you turn and pan in one direction, I'll walk through a little bit, but as you turn and pan, at this point my left eye becomes dominant, and then when I turn and I'm walking this other direction, as I walk through, my right eye becomes dominant. So you're actually creating the intercourse of communication between the right and left side of your brain. It's a theory behind it. Whether it works or not, it's a wonderful thing to meditate and be out here in the woods and walk through the labyrinth. And this was actually built by Leo and Rita's grandchildren, that when they were in high school, they spent an entire summer out here setting all these rocks and creating the labyrinth. It was Michael and Jason Ward. Dwayne makes it look really easy to make bluebirds. It looks like you can make it with his eyes. You probably can make it with his eyes closed, actually. But he's bringing out molten glass at just about 2,000 degrees. It's kind of the consistency of maybe a cool honey, where he has to keep his rod moving so it doesn't fall off. He's blocking it into a carbide block there, the graphite block. And then just goes through all the little details of making each bird. So each and every bird is completely handmade, totally unique. Slight minor differences between each one, but they're just amazingly cute little birds that, you know, symbolize happiness and hope with the blue and the pink birds. Any questions about the bird makers?
How do you get the color in it?
Okay, the color, the pink is a color called erbium that we add to the color.
And is that added before it goes into the
we work with natural sands. We use sand and a couple other chemicals to create our own glass color. The color erbium, the batch mix between the blue and the pink is about the same. The difference between the color is erbium is pink and black copper oxide is the blue. That furnace isn't on right now. That's a furnace Dwayne designed last year, where we were able to go from a $1,200 a month gas bill down to $350 a month gas bill. As part of our efforts to go green. Dwayne has been spending years making bluebirds, thinking about how to design a better furnace, and he got a chance to do it, and it's just been really successful. The whole setup here is designed to where that large pipe coming through the top up there will capture heat off the top of the furnaces. And it'll be what we'll be heating our galleries and gift shops with in the coffee house. We're going to try to utilize all the energy off this furnace. We'll be adding another heating coil in here to heat the indoor pool that's part of the community that's here at Terra, the artist community, and it's just, we're trying to look at every place where we use energy and find every little way we could squeeze every drop of energy out of it to make it as efficient as possible. Dwayne's making pink birds today, which are being made for the Susan G. Komen Foundation. We've been in a partnership with them for 2.5 years. We've given them over $30,000. It's just been a total pleasure working with them. They're such a fabulous organization. This is a front entrance to the new gallery and coffee house. This building was built in the mid-'80s. It was built as a restaurant building. Leo and Rita had a passion. They wanted to build a wonderful art space, so they had 20 artists spend 2 years creating a completely handmade building. Everything in there, from the tile on the floors to the lights on the walls, are completely handmade. Every Sunday we're going to be doing music here at Terra Studios. We'll be doing, when the weather's wonderful, we'll be having it outside on the patio by the pond. On days where the weather's not either too hot or maybe rainy, we're going to have music here in the coffee house. It gives us the opportunity to showcase some of the amazing musicians we have in Northwest Arkansas. And it'll be from 1 to 4 every Sunday throughout the season. And you'll be able to check the Facebook page. Terra Studios is listed on Facebook. We'll have a listing of all the music. For those who don't do Facebook, you can look at the local papers. We'll be listed in the What's Up section, in the Free Weekly, all those kind of things. We'll have listings of who's playing and what type of music it is.
Now, for Terra Studios, tell me again when you're open.
We're open from 10 to 5, 7 days a week.
And any size crowd can come?
Any size crowd can come. If you have a large crowd that wants to do a lunch, we do bag lunches. If you want, if you have a tour that you're wanting to bring in, we can arrange to have a pottery demonstration along with our glass demonstration.
And we're going to have music here every Sunday through the fall and winter?
Every Sunday through the fall and winter, and then we'll have our spring and fall music festivals.
Oh yeah, music festival in the spring and then one in May, right?
The second week in May and the second week in September, second Saturday in May and second Saturday in September. We'll have a music festival every year of local talent. It's just always just a wonderful day to come out and enjoy the artists. The artists get to come out and just hang and have fun instead of having to hustle and sell stuff. And musicians come out and just have a great time. It's really fun.
And the best part about it is there's no admission charge.
No admission charge for anything here at Terra.
Everybody's welcome.
Yep, everybody's welcome. And it's you know, the community supports us, we support the community. It's, you know, that everybody wins.
We're open 365 days a year. We're located in
Durham, Arkansas.
Durham, Arkansas.
13 miles east of Fayetteville on Highway 16.
Easy to find them.
Yep.
Unless you're me.
It was a pleasure having you here today.
Jamie,
thank
you so much for having us out. This has been a wonderful day. I mean, who knew that this little mecca of treasures was right in the middle of Arkansas?
Well, that's why we're glad you're here. You're going to get the word out for us.
And we're going to be back again, too. We hope you'll come around real soon, too, and look for some special events and some great musicians. And I don't know, I got a feeling there's still some surprises to be found here at Terra Studios.
Oh, there's a lot. There's some great art with Christmas coming up.
There is. All right. We'll be back in just a minute with more of the Out of the Norm show. Don't go away. Well, the chariot of fire is all loaded up, ready for another road trip to go out and seek the places, people, things, and fortunes that are around the country to bring to you in the stories on the Out of the Norm show. We hope you've enjoyed today's program as we visited Turpentine Creek Wildlife Refuge in Eureka Springs and also Terra Studios in Durham, Arkansas. Both places we would encourage you to visit on your next trip to Northwest Arkansas. In the meantime, we'll see you out on the road somewhere. This is Norm Allen from the Out of the Norm show, where the stories are all about you.
Like loving the South and me.